Hey guys, Pool Zen Master here. Just wanted to give you a basics video of the stuff you need and the stuff you gotta do. You need one of these sticks, a big, extendable stick for like all the extensions you have, like, your brush, your nets. Like, these things are very important, so get a good one. You need a good net. The cheapy blue $10 one, it's very slow. It has a lot of resistance in the water. If you get the one that's like 20 bucks that says professional or something, it's a lot faster and you'll be able to skim and do that a lot faster. You probably need to skim your pool at least once a day. Like, it depends on your environment, if you have a lot of trees around, right? But yeah, you want to be skimming and getting stuff out of the pool a lot. You definitely need a brush like this to brush your liner. I don't know about anything about concrete pools, but liner pools, you got to brush them a lot. A lot of stuff builds up on the liner. You need to brush it like once a week. They just have normal brushes that are basically just this piece, and it goes on your pole. This one is like called I think it's called whale tail or something like that. This helps, make a pressure so the brush pushes down against the bottom of the pool when you push it along. One of these like soft bristle brushes is really nice to do your liner on the edges and in the corners on the bottom and in the corners of the pool, so that you can get stuff that like the vacuums and everything else can't get to and get cleaned out. You're definitely going to need test kits. I have a video on chemical balance and testing. Definitely this dropping test kit is very accurate, and then you want some tabs to just do like daily and like every other day checks. Definitely want you definitely want both these test strips and the drops. If you're not sure, you could take a sample of your water to your pool store and get a test. This is really helpful. Sometimes you need to know like more details, and it's usually free. And I have a video on that. You don't have to go buy all their chemicals. They might try to push them, but you don't have to buy them. There's a lot of simple ways to get around buying all those expensive chemicals. You definitely need chlorine to chlorinate your pool. So a bucket like this, I have videos on all this stuff on my channel, and tons of people do too. To get this in your pool, you need to have a little floaty thing. They have those little floaty things. You can make one out of a plastic bottle and drill some holes and put some chlorine in it, and it'll float in the pool. There's also chlorinators. I have a bunch of videos on this. These things are okay. There are good ones and bad ones, I think. This one is not that great, but yeah, they work too. Alkalinity and pH are really important to test and keep up. You gotta get your alkalinity right first before you can maintain like chlorine levels and pH. Baking soda does a lot of that. You see my other videos on chemicals about how to do that. You need some kind of a vacuum. They have these manual vacuums. This goes on that stick pole thing that we talked about in the beginning, and it has a hose here. You would have a hose that connects to your skimmer box to, you basically uses your pump and your filter to suck everything up. You can do this manually, or you can get like a robot little automatic vacuum. They are really nice. There's tons of probably things you got to research to do that. I highly recommend the Aquabot Fury. I have that and I really like it a lot. Some quick basics on your filter. If you have a pressure gauge, probably means like, so when you have pressure, you're gonna kind of set your initial pressure. You can turn this thing, and like, I'm not gonna move it because mine is right around 15 right now, but when your pressure builds up, you have to backwash or do something with your filter tank. So you have to know what kind of filter you have, if it's DE, cartridges, or sand probably. If you have to backwash, you have a spider valve. I have a whole video on how to do this. Check that. This is a pump. This is what's sucking water in from the pool and shooting it through your tank. There's a basket in here that you have to clean out every once in a while, probably every few weeks. It all depends on your environment. Hey, this is your skimmer box or skimmer basket. Gotta empty this like twice a day, probably beginning and end. If you have any storms or like a lot of wind, you probably want to check it very often, because I've seen this thing fill up with like so much leaves it caused the pressure to change in the filter. And you should check your return jet, make sure it's got good pressure. As your pressure builds in your tank, this will get less pressure. So as you feel this lighten up, you're getting closer to having to backwash or to do something to your tank. I have a ozone sanitizer, so that's why I have some like bubbles coming out of this. you shouldn't really have any bubbles. If you ever see bubbles, it might mean you have a leak in one of the lines. So definitely check, like have a pool professional check your lines for you.